A few days after that day we call 9/11, President Bush went on TV and told we the people to go shop if we wanted to help and that they hated us because we were free. I didn't want to shop, and I did not react with fear to that day, but curiosity. I wondered if they hated us so much to target and murder innocent people had something to do with Americans' mindless overconsumption of the world's resources and apathy towards the poor and oppressed. Up until that day we call 9/11, I was your typical self-satisfied, self-centered, uninformed, misinformed, comfortably numb American. That day changed everything. And having been an American girl who was raised on promises, I did something. The media once was a thorn in the side of politicians, but on that day we call 9/11, they acted more like secretaries taking down Big Brother's dictation. And all I heard was politicians who did not represent me. That day we call 9/11 inspired me to begin to research so as to learn why did some people in the world hate us so much that they could target and murder innocent people, and then to travel 7 times to Israel, Palestine since 2005, and I've learned plenty. Everywhere but in America, the Palestinian narrative is well known. Everywhere but in America, the Israeli occupation of Palestine is viewed as a U.S.-Israeli collaboration. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed's involvement in the terror upon America, by his own account, stemmed from his violent disagreement with U.S. foreign policy favoring Israel. Abdulmutallab's Christmas Day 2009 attempt to blow up a plane was fueled by his sympathies towards the Palestinians and anger over Israel's action in Gaza. But if I can't dance and laugh, it's not my revolution, so I share with you a little Abbie Hoffman. In 1989, just before he died from a fatal combo of alcohol and phenobarb, Abbie told his sister he had a plan to solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but he took it to his grave. In the 1960s, Abbie Hoffman, a secular Jewish road warrior, co-founded the Yippies, Youth International Party, and was the grandmaster of the Groucho Marxists. He once pulled off a mass media manipulation when he convinced the press to turn out for a demo at the Pentagon, which promised 50,000 people using psychic energy would levitate the Pentagon, cause it to vibrate, rotate, turn bright orange, and end the war on Vietnam. In Chicago in 1968, Abbie addressed the children of the 60s who had planned on spending the night in a city park after their long day of lobbying at the Democratic Convention. Mayor Daley sent word to Abbie that the multitudes were not welcome in his park and the cops were on the way in. Before the Chicago mob with badgers clobbered the heads of America's youth, Abbie stood up at a microphone and quoted Christ. "I send you out like little lambs into a wolf's den. Remain as harmless as doves and cunning as snakes." Now, if the doves had consulted Webster's, they first would have had a laugh at the two words cunning is sandwiched in between. Then they would have learned that cunning means one must be clever, skillful, sly, crafty, and do things with skill and ingenuity. To be cunning is also to be attractive, cute, and cleverly proficient. In George Washington's farewell address, he warned us, "Observe good faith and justice towards all nations. Cultivate peace and harmony with all. Passionate attachments for others should be excluded, and then in place of them, just and amicable feelings should be cultivated. And the nation which indulges towards another a habitual hatred or habitual fondness is in some degrees a slave. A passionate attachment of one nation for another produces a variety of evils." The most radical and forward-thinking of all of America's founding fathers was Tom Paine, who wrote, "Soon after I published the pamphlet Common Sense, I saw the exceeding probability that a revolution in the system of government would be followed by a revolution in the system of religion. The world is my country, all mankind are my brethren, and to do good is my religion." Paine also knew, belief in a cruel God makes a cruel man. Every religion is good that teaches man to be good. I believe in the equality of man, and I believe that religious duties consist in doing justice, loving mercy, and endeavoring to make our fellow creatures happy. Reputation is what men and women think of us. Character is what God and the angels know of us. He that rebels against reason is a real rebel, but he that in defense of reason rebels against tyranny has a better claim to the defender of the faith. Reason obeys itself, but ignorance submits to whatever is dictated to it. The most formidable weapon against errors of every kind is reason. An army of principles can penetrate where an army of soldiers cannot. He that would make his own liberty secure must guard even his enemy from opposition, for if he violates this duty, he establishes a precedent that will return to him. He who is the author of war lets loose the whole contagion of hell and opens a vein that will bleed a nation to death. War involves in its progress such a train of unforeseen circumstances that no human wisdom can calculate the end. But one thing is certain, it will increase taxes. If we do not hang together, we shall surely hang separately. The irresistible nature of truth, all that it seeks, all that it wants, is the freedom to appear. It is error only, not truth, that shrinks from inquiry. It's a real man who can smile in trouble, gather strength from distress, and grow brave by reflection. Government that is best governs least. Oh, these are the times that try men's souls. On July 4th, 1776, 55 rich white men signed onto America's Declaration of Independence, which affirms, "We hold these truths to be self-evident. All are created equal, all endowed by their Creator with unalienable rights, and to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men and women, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. And whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. Power to the peaceful. Only in solidarity do we have it in our power to begin the world again." Learn much more at wearewideawake.org, February 21, 2010, in the 9th year of after that day we call 9/11.